You traveled from the other side of the world to come to these episcopal consecrations of the SSPX. Why was it important for you to make this trek?
Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The revolutions in the church have been major damage, and I'm eager to show my support for the counter-revolution that is being fought.
The Vatican has been threatening the SSPX with excommunication if they move forward with consecrating these four bishops today. Does that scare you?
No.
Why?
Why? Because I think that it is there's a necessity in the church, and ultimately the salvation of souls trumps all else.
Why is the salvation of souls on the line?
Because of the liberalism and the doctrinal errors which are being imposed by the post-Vatican II church. It's important to fight those. It's putting souls at danger, and yeah, I think we need to fight that.
How do we fight the Marxist infiltration of the Vatican? How do we make people aware of that?
I think a lot of it is a delicate just informing people. You meet people, you discuss the SSPX. Most of them have zero clue what we actually believe, what our actual positions are, what is our relation with the Vatican. You ask the average person I've met, they seem to think we're all sedevacantists. That's completely false, obviously. That is our minority of minorities. But I think that simply introducing people to the TLM, slowly discussing our positions with them slowly without coming out necessarily as being with the SSPX, just give them the positions, the views, the theology, and that will bring them in gently and slowly. And then let them figure out, give them the starting points and let them get drawn into the society at their own pace.
What was your reaction to Pope Leo yesterday saying that he's now ready to have an open dialogue with the SSPX?
I just found out about it this morning.
Yeah,
So
what was your reaction to that?
I was barely waking up, so my reaction, I didn't really have much of a reaction, to be honest with you. But I think the Pope should be open to discussing things with us. I just don't think it's going to go as it ought.
Why do you think that he waited until the day before the consecrations to say that he wants to have an open dialogue?
He's being pushed to it.
You think he's being pressured into it?
He feels pressure. The Vatican feels pressure now, whereas before we were just getting sort of shoved under the rug.
If you had an opportunity to speak with some Catholics who are wary of preserving the traditional Mass and attending the SSPX, what would you say to them?
I would say, look at the church before Vatican II, look what has happened since the council. We have lost, I don't know the numbers offhand, but huge apostasy rate. The number of people who left the church immediately in the early 1970s, it would seem, is astounding. What changed? What changed? All of a sudden we see liberalism and heresy coming from the highest office, whereas things that would have been unthinkable for the most part beforehand, with some instances. There were definitely the seeds of heresy beforehand, but it wasn't universal like we saw in this sudden snap that was the Second Vatican Council. And I would say look at the church before and after and ask
before and after Vatican II, you mean?
Yeah. Yes. What changed?
If you had the opportunity to speak directly with Pope Leo, what would you say to him?
That's a little bit of a difficult question. I mean, obviously, I would try to convince him to be generous in his dealings with the society, to recognize the fact that we're not schismatic, to work out, negotiate. I do think negotiations to solve these arguments are important. What I would ultimately be asking him to do is to overturn the errors that we see in Vatican II, and removal, extermination of the new rite, and all the other heresies, communion in the hand, and blasphemies that we've seen since the 1970s. I'm not sure exactly how I would go about that.
Sure.
But that is ultimately what I would be trying to accomplish.